late on like pop culture, and I
What's up,
just saw.
everybody? I
Go ahead.
accidentally just went live while Chris was telling me a story
Yeah.
and complimenting me that I don't look like a meth head. So thank you, Chris. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. We'll put a pin in that story and we'll come back to it later.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to day 2 of our membership success class. We are membership success masterclass. Excuse me. Wow, I'm really off to a great start here with this today, Chris. Boop, take 2. Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the membership success masterclass. My name is Stephanie Hudson. I'm here with my pal, Chris Badgett, who knows a little something about creating membership success. So, if you missed it yesterday, you can catch the replay. Shoot us a note, and we'll get that link over to you. Put it in the comments, or send us a message. We'll get you the replay if you don't see it on in the group or on YouTube, and you can find out how to find your icky guy. Now, ladies, don't be panicking because I know we all struggle with the icky guys, but this is different. This is where Chris gets all zen on us and explains how we can find our true motivation, what is going to be the best possible thing for us to teach and to bring into the world by means of a course or a quiz or a membership or any of these sort of vehicles. And so once we find that, we identify our customer, we talk about the mechanism. There's so many cool things that he shared with us that break down every aspect of determining what your course should be about. And today we are going to talk about how to implement those things. We are going to launch your training-based membership site with WordPress. Okay. And we're going to discover how to select the best membership software for you. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to be Lifter LMS. And then we're going to have you quickly launch your membership site. So we're going to use WordPress tools because we're all WordPress people here. And Chris, when we say quickly, what are we talking?
um, Less than an hour, and if you're moving slow, maybe a whole day.
You can launch this site in less than an hour?
Sure.
Wow. Okay. All right, guys, if that ain't a teaser. So before we begin, Chris, why don't you do a little intro? Tell the people who you are. They might not recognize you because you're not wearing the dude glasses from yesterday.
Not
You are
having those
still in outer
on.
space, though.
So I'm Chris Badgett from Lifter LMS. I've been in WordPress since 2008. I live up on the coast of Maine. I used to travel a lot. I had location issues, which was something me and my wife say. I met her in Alaska. Long story short, I got really into online courses, training-based membership sites, becoming a digital entrepreneur, launching an agency, all that back in 2008 to 10. And through that time, I've evolved into creating a software for people creating courses and training-based membership sites called Lifter LMS. And we're going to learn about that today.
Awesome. I love it. My favorite fun fact about Chris Badgett, and there are several, is that he used to run sled dogs in Alaska.
I did.
I
Yep.
learned that at a WordCamp after party, and the next day I was like, how many free drinks did we get last night? Because I could have sworn this guy told me he ran sled dogs. Anyway, why don't we dive in, Chris? Let's kick this off. Are you going to share your screen? Excuse me, are you going to share your screen?
Yeah, let me get that going and just make sure I got that working properly.
And then so again yesterday we talked about our what and our why and our who. And today we're really going to dive into the how. Is that correct?
That's it.
Okay, while you're pulling that up, why don't I introduce myself a little bit? My name is Stephanie Hudson. I run a company called Focus WP with my partner Tom, who lives up in Canada. And we help agencies and solopreneurs to scale and grow by offering what amounts to basically being an entire agency team that you can rent by the hour. So you can scale up the projects that you're doing and make them more robust and offer more services, or you can take on more projects because you have this team at your disposal without having to have all kind of full-time permanent staff. So you can learn more at focuswp.co and stick around. At the end, we have a little bonus for lifter folks who want to get their site going in an hour, as well as some lifter goodies that Chris is going to offer as well. All right, I'm going to pop up your screen here and hit your little play button, and let's go.
All right, awesome. So you got my full screen there?
Mm-hmm.
So this presentation, it's kind of going to be a two-parter. I'm going to go through some slides and just share some general ideas with you. And then I'm going to actually get into a live demo and show you how easy it is to launch an online course and have a training-based membership website with WordPress. Like Steph mentioned, I used to run sled dogs in Alaska for like a decade. During that time of my life, for most of the time, I did not have an internet connection or cell phone, and I had no training in technology and business, yet here I am. So if I can do this kind of thing, anybody can. And I just want to encourage you, especially after going through the training yesterday. If you didn't, we'll link it up down below. There's a 5-day challenge on how to come up with your 6-figure training-based membership site plan. It takes an hour a day for 5 days. Once you have a plan, then you need a platform, and that's what we're going to go over today, and how to do that with WordPress specifically. So I'm going to go over some quick trends, use cases, and tech. As you know, I'm Chris Badgett, the CEO and co-founder of Lifter LMS, which has been around since 2014. There's a couple different types of people we helped. If you were on the training yesterday, you might recognize the gentleman in the middle. His name is David Blackman. He's what I call a starter, somebody who just builds their own training-based membership site, which he did with Lifter LMS from the Divi community. Melissa Love over on the left, who you may know as well from the Divi community, built her own LMS site with Lifter LMS for her coaching program, and she also helps clients with the same. And then we have people like Nick Usborne over here on the right, who I call switchers. These are people who switch over to WordPress from platforms like Kajabi, Teachable, Thinkific. I think Nick came off of Teachable. He just wanted a platform with more power, control, ownership, flexibility. So he came on over to WordPress. But these are kind of the 3 types of people we help. So if you're wanting to launch a course or looking to help clients do the same, you're in the right place. There's a few quick trends I want to go over with you. Online education is not new, but it is going mainstream in a big way, particularly in the past 4 years or so. Online education and distance learning has been around for a long time, but until really recently, it's become just massive, and it's like growing exponentially. Just like the internet has been around for a long time, the use of the internet and how much it influences our lives has gone exponentially up in terms of impact. The e-learning industry itself is predicted to be a $300 billion industry by 2025. I heard a recent statistic that number has actually gone up to closer to 500 billion by 2025,
Wow.
mostly due to the global pandemic education system disruption, which both disrupting the school systems and also working life and everything. It just accelerated a lot of adoption of online education in its various formats, which is it's a big niche in the sense that it's not just adult learners who want to learn something. Online education, impacts young children. It impacts corporations. It impacts businesses looking to train their team members. Online education, when you start looking around, you'll start seeing it everywhere and where it's having an impact. The other thing that's easy for us to forget, if you're on this webinar right now, you've probably got good internet. You've probably had it for a while, but there are still major parts of the world that are still coming online. And especially the mobile 5G internet is really opening up internet connectivity to people who haven't really had the internet access that a lot of the Western world enjoys, and the developed world. It's just continuing to accelerate. And then also, particularly for e-learning, having high enough speeds of internet on mobile so that we can do videos and things like that on the go is just causing the e-learning adoption to accelerate even faster. Another big trend is tool accessibility. So if you ask a kid these days what they want to be when they grow up, one of the number one answers is they want to be a professional YouTuber. And part of the
Mm.
reason that's the case is the tools have never been easier, from your smartphone to, digital DSLR cameras to microphones, laptop computers, video editing, and all this stuff has never been easier for people to use to become content creators and YouTubers, course creators, online consultants. It's just never been easier because the tools are cheaper and more powerful than they've ever been. So I'm going to go over a couple use cases for you in terms of creating an online course or a training-based membership site. I'd encourage you to kind of expand your mind to think. We're going to use the word like online course or coaching program or academy or membership site, to use those words somewhat interchangeably. They have their nuances and how they're different, but all this is possible with your e-learning platform or your LMS website. So what you call it and how you structure the features of the learning opportunity, kind of influences what it's called. But at the foundational level, it's an online course, or you have several online courses. This is Esther, one of our customers, who teaches military spouses how to become virtual assistants. And
Oh,
I
that's
watched her
cool.
go from $0 to $50,000 a month with her program. And if you're on yesterday's training, you'll learn about the power of a clear offer and a clear customer avatar. So she didn't just teach people how to become virtual assistants. She herself was a military spouse who that segment has various challenges, particularly around having to move all the time or not be in the same location, and just the challenges of that lifestyle. So by creating her course to address specifically the military spouse community and helping them become virtual assistants and earning income very fast through her program, she had a killer offer. That's why she's making 50 grand a month. Next, we have Melissa Love here, who takes more of a broader training-based membership site approach. So she has many courses. She has a library of resources, templates, design files. She has a calendar of events, like guest experts, office hours masterminds that she puts on, and other things. She has perks, which are like special deals she's negotiated for the graphic design community that she serves. So she houses all this inside of her training-based membership site. The largest WordPress education site on the internet is called WP101. That's also powered by Lifter LMS. It's a multi-instructor, what we call a course marketplace. And basically what that means is there's multiple teachers on this platform who teach on various WordPress related topics. Courses are available individually, but they can also be purchased via bundles and so on. So this is a more complex course marketplace style implementation. The next thing is education-based marketing. This is where you use courses to educate your market, both before they buy and then after they buy, about your product. So this is our number one secret sauce at Lifter LMS, and how we get leads and reduce support costs is we have a quick start course for Lifter LMS, which basically shows people the most essential parts of the tool in about a 30-minute course. And then when somebody's just getting started with the software, they can go through the same course. And that causes people to have the confidence to buy the software and also to learn how to use it without having to contact support. We explained how that worked to our friends over at Groundhog, another WordPress plugin company. They implemented the same thing and got the same results as well. And they've created some other courses as well in their academy. So courses aren't always about, they can be not necessarily the main event. Like, I have a course, I'm trying to make money. It could also be used just to support another business line or another part of your business. Another big deal is what's called internal training. This one's kind of funny, just because you'd be surprised how many times we get contacted by people who are creating forklift safety training courses for some industry or for their warehouse and so on. So this is where a company just uses a learning management system to make courses to train their employees. And one of the things you can do as an entrepreneur, if you happen to have, forklift safety training was your ikigai, which, if you have to see our presentation yesterday to learn about that, but you can actually think of yourself as a curriculum designer design this program, and then sell at scale this training into other companies who can buy like hundreds or even thousands or tens of thousands of seats in your training. Lifter LMS has tools for that called groups when you're doing that kind of complex sale. But anyways,
Is that, before you switch slides, is that Jim from The Office? Is that like his less successful brother? Does he kind of look like? Does
I'm
he
not
kind of
sure
look like?
where this stock photo came from, but it could be. It could be. The next one we have is more traditional online schools. We've had many colleges get into using Lifter LMS to deliver either blended training, meaning in addition to the in-person stuff, they have the online stuff, or fully remote degree programs. So if you're watching this and you happen to work in a university, the interesting thing is the university doesn't adopt it at the top level. What ends up happening is there's an innovative active academic department or teacher that usually pushes these initiatives forward inside universities. And we've seen that happening, and especially at an accelerating rate over the past couple of years. So here's a couple problems with the LMS or learning management system industry. The thing you want to avoid when you've got your plan is what you don't want to do is make a software Frankenstein. This is like string together a bunch of WordPress plugins and stuff, not necessarily designed to work well together. And you end up with what I call a software Frankenstein, where you've
We
overpaid
all know about those, yeah.
and things don't work well together. And, sometimes this is just a part of learning. Sometimes you have to do that before you build a really quality site. It's just, I definitely did in my early days with WordPress, but it's nice to avoid it if you can. The other thing is a lack of monetization. One of the most classic examples of this with somebody who has a passion and a skill is they just give it all away for free on YouTube. And maybe they put up a Patreon and post a couple videos to Patreon, or they figure out a course, but they don't add a few elements like we discussed yesterday, like designing in success systems to make it way more valuable than just the content by itself. So that's a big challenge. Another thing is content theft that happens out there. So part of what you want to do with your site is actually protect the content for the people that are paying and should have access to it. Low engagement is another problem. And that's the dirty little secret of the LMS industry or the online course industry is there's a lot of people that make sales, but then the students don't actually finish the training, which is why what we went over yesterday with our instructional design system and thinking through phases and steps and action items. When you keep people moving on a path, you increase engagement. So pro tip to go back and visit that part about instructional design yesterday. Cool. And then the other thing, which is what if you're watching this, you likely love WordPress, but sometimes people end up on hosted SaaS platforms that do just like one piece of what they need, and they end up just feeling a lack of flexibility and trapped on a platform that can't really grow with them. So here's my promise to you today. I'm going to show you how to unlock creative freedom, how to sell and maximize revenue, protect your content the right way, engage your learners, and connect to anything you want, or the tools that you're already using in your business or in your workflow. So
Is that all? That's all you can do?
What's that?
That's all?
That's all.
That's all. A lot of things.
There's three big ideas too that I want you to hold in your mind as I work through this. Okay. One is the idea of having an all-in-one solution as much as you can. So in WordPress, we love plugins. We love all these different tools, but at the heart of your business, try to have an all-in-one solution, but then fold in, these ancillary things you want to add, which we'll get into in a little bit.
I have a question in the group. If you want to have it now or if you want to have it later, it's sort of a twofold, but I think it might relate to that.
Oh, go for it.
It's from Greg Hyatt. It's a double here. So he says, do I necessarily have to have a plugin such as Paid Memberships Pro if my theme allows me to control the flow with conditional logic? And secondly, will Lifter LMS pull from my theme's global settings in regards to colors and fonts, or does that need to be configured within Lifter? So that one doesn't, maybe not both of those right now, but that first one talking about having an additional plugin like paid memberships, I don't know if that is relevant to that point that you just mentioned.
Yeah. So one of the things that makes Lifter LMS unique is it is an all-in-one solution. So it has membership functionality built in. It has the e-commerce built in. It has the gamification built in. It has all the LMS stuff like the course, the progression tracking, the user accounts, the reporting. So that's all built in. So you don't need something separate from your theme or a separate membership plugin to make it happen. A fun fact for you, though, is Lifter LMS is very much involved in the WordPress community. So if you're already using Paid Memberships Pro actually has an integration with Lifter LMS, so that if you've already got members powered in Paid Memberships Pro, but you want to leverage Lifter LMS for the courses and all the LMS functionality, you can do that too.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah. And to the your question about colors and whatnot, Lifter's a plugin based system. We do have a few things that aren't plugins, but most of what we offer are plugins. And because of that, it's designed to integrate with any well-coded WordPress theme and adapt to whatever the styles of your existing site are. So
awesome.
And happy to take more questions. Just keep dropping them in the comments as I go. And we are going to be doing a live demo, so we can actually look at some of these things too in just a bit. The other thing I want to encourage you to think about is with your course is offering results, not just information. So we did a lot of this work yesterday to figure out who are helping and what do they want? Like, what is the result? The course is just a mechanism, or the coaching program or the membership. It's just a mechanism in between the avatar and the result they want. And, the information, like the content, is really just a mechanism. So when you get the result super clear, just like we looked at Esther, who helped military spouses start a certain type of career called a virtual assistant career and be successful in a certain amount of time, she did really well because she could reliably deliver a result even in challenging circumstances. And the other thing is to connect with anything. This is the beauty of WordPress, just like our question around Paid Memberships Pro, and really just the infinite possibilities with WordPress. We were looking at Melissa Love's site earlier, just a screenshot. And, she uses several other tools. She uses Divi. She uses some calendar event management system and all kinds of other tools to deliver the exact use case. This is the beauty of WordPress. So I'm going to step through some of these areas of what it's like to create, to sell, to engage with your learners, to protect your content and connect to the tools and whatever systems that you need to make your magic happen in your online learning platform. So when it comes to creation, one of the things you can do with Lifter is create an entire course from one screen. So from our training yesterday, we kind of figured out how to create a course outline or curriculum, also called a syllabus. And from this one screen here, you can actually lay out your whole lesson plan, the syllabus for the course. And I'll show you how to do this in my presentation or the demo part at the end of this. And you can literally put this up for sale with a future start date. And that's what I mean by you could literally have something up for selling in minutes once you have your site up here. You can create any kind of training business model. So we looked at some of those, like the basic online course like Esther's, or the more advanced training-based membership site coaching program or course marketplace. You can create your own unique brand and design. This is WordPress. Anything's possible with what your site's going to look like, and the branding can be truly unique and it won't look cookie cutter. You can do compliance flexibility. So if you have a subject matter that is governed by certain laws, or you need people to agree to certain terms or whatever before they go into the content, you can set that all up. And then you can create enrollment your way. So whether you have like a one-time payment or a monthly payment or payment plans, or they only get access for a year, or they get access but it doesn't start until like a future date, it's all possible with Lifter LMS. In terms of selling, you can package and monetize however you want, the simple course or the more complex membership site. You can generate leads and sales using free courses. You can maximize profit by creating success systems beyond the initial content, like coaching and community. Lifter has tools for those kinds of things as well, built into the solution set. And you can also create recurring revenue, which comes from creating recurring value. So we looked at things like private coaching, group coaching, bonus materials or events that people could get access to. The secret to recurring revenue is recurring value. So if you want recurring revenue and not just like a one-off course sale or a course sale plus a payment plan, you have to think through the recurring value options. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually have just a monthly office hours for an hour where people can ask you anything as the expert. That can be completely time boxed to an hour. You don't have to prepare for it. You just have to show up and be yourself and help people. You can also get paid in advance. So this is the pre-selling I was talking about, having a future course start date. Or if you want to do like a product launch window where it's only available to buy between these dates, all those features are built in. In terms of engagement, there's something called the results revolution, which is what people actually want. They don't want more content. They want results. So how are we going to get them results? Well, we are going to give them some good content without overwhelming them. We can also build a community aspect. So Lifter has a Facebook group-like experience that you can add to your site if you want to have a community but keep it on your site. You can understand your learners. So this is a view just kind of in the reporting and analytics. If you can see when students or learners or members are getting stuck or making progress and who's really falling behind. And all this helps you engage better with your people and not just sticking up a paywall with some content on the other side. You can also control student progress if you want to do drip content and prerequisites. Gamification is also a thing, so you can have various pop-ups and things that happen to help gamify and hit the dopamine reward centers of the brain. Even for more professional-based content, we see a lot of people doing a lot of the gamification stuff with achievement badges, certificates, and more. From a protection standpoint, you can keep your content safe. So your syllabus is locked down. They can't get in unless they enroll. You can even hide the syllabus if you don't want people to even know what the content is. You've got individual user accounts. You've got privacy controls so that you're fully GDPR compliant and people can take their data and disappear if they want to. And then in terms of connection, you can connect with your favorite WordPress tools. There's a lot of tools out there that, like on this screen here, Ninja Forms and Formidable Forms integrate with Lifter LMS. So if you wanted to require people to complete some form and have that data show up in your reporting, you can do that with those integrations. Lifter is one of the few WordPress solutions listed on the Zapier app directory. So if you want to start integrating with tools outside of WordPress. And Lifter has one of the, if not most powerful APIs in the WordPress ecosystem. An API stands for Application Programming Interface. And this is really something for the developers out there. But if you want to build a mobile app that pairs with your Lifter LMS site, or just connect other products to Lifter at the software layer, Lifter is built in complete openness and extendability. So for the developers out there, this is an awesome feature that not a lot of people know about. And also, if you're working with Lifter yourself and you have a thought like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if Lifter could do this thing with this other app? You can. We got an API for doing all that. So I'm at the demo section here. I'm happy to take any questions now or jump right into the demo.
We have one more question from Greg. He
Okay.
asks, is it possible to limit country of registration or enrollment to the US only, so not having to fuss and worry about GDPR?
That is possible.
That's a tricky one, right? Because you have to track where they're at in order to be able to limit it, right?
Yeah, it's not a Lifter LMS feature, but I mean you could do it, and I'll explain how. But I think I would do that more at the hosting level. It is possible, like using plugins like WordFence to exclude certain countries if you want. So from trafficking your site. But at the Lifter LMS level, one thing you could do is basically in the enrollment form, uh, basically they have to, yeah, you say it's for United States citizens only, and then they have to confirm that they are. And so you're kind of going on the honor system there, but there's a way to set that up in the enrollment form where they self-select into being a US citizen. It's not a perfect solution, but it is one that's out there. So let me share a different screen here. And we'll get that going. And
Great. Thank you. That answered his question.
we also, by the way, we'll put in the chat. We have a link to some of the all-star example case studies, showcase stories of people using Lifter LMS. So go check those out. You'll get a lot of inspiration from people like that. And then we do also have a coupon code where you can save 30% off Lifter LMS. So that coupon code is membership30. And
all the chats right now.
yeah, so go check that out. And we technically, just FYI, opened up our Black Friday deal early. So you're going to get a bunch of bonuses in addition to that 30% discount if you buy this before Cyber Monday. And so now's a good time to get in at the best price and get the most bonuses and value and all that. So let me share my screen again. And if you can pull that up, Steph. There we go.
There we go.
So
commenting.
This is a Lifter LMS powered site. This one's a little more, it's not just like a simple one course site, but it's just here to kind of show you a lot of the different features. So I'm going to take you on a little tour, and then we're going to build a course and show how easy it is, especially after yesterday's training on how to kind of come up with your course outline and whatnot.
Love it.
So this is basically a homepage with a bunch of stuff. This site has mini courses on it, like 12 or something like that. See the main course content. We got the syllabus over here. In this particular setup, we can buy the course for $500, or we can get it through the Academy membership. So, and in this case, we're saying you can get all the courses for $200 per month, or you can get the courses plus group coaching for $1,000 per month, or you can get all the courses plus private coaching for $3,000 a month. Now, there's different ways. Any kind of pricing model or access model you can come up with is possible with Lifter. I encourage you to keep it simple. Like, people have a tendency to overcomplicate like the plans or whatever. But yeah, having a couple options is never a bad idea. Even if it's just a single course, let's say it's $1,000, or it has like a payment plan, 3 payments of $400 over 3 months or something like that. That's be a simple option. When you go inside of a course, let's go inside one of these. this course. Well, let me go on one that's not already completed by this user. So we'll go into this one over here, the financial independence, retire early. I don't know if you're aware of the FIRE community, financial independence, retire early. It's a fun group of people on the internet. You can learn a lot from them. But
Cool.
I just want to go over some of the what you can put in a course just to inspire you. So this is like a video, pretty straightforward. And then we have a lesson with a quiz here. So I'm just taking a quiz, and you don't have to do all this stuff. This is a true false. Put these things in the right order. This is a picture choice. This is a multiple choice option. This is a fill in the blank. This is a what's called a scale question. And you can see I passed that
Excellent
quiz.
work.
Thanks. And there's all kinds of features with quizzes, like number of attempts, timers, manual grading, essays, uploads. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Here's a simple task list assignment. So yesterday we talked about the power of action steps inside of a lesson. So this could be we were using domain names as an example. So like we had something like do research, buy the domain name, implement the DNS, and these can contain links and further instructions on how to do each of these steps. So that's kind of just an idea around getting your learners taking action through assignments.
And then is there a thing like something about that? I can't remember what the word was. That like they would have to submit something, so like they could go do homework and then submit it there and then tick the box, or no?
Yeah, so there's different types of assignments. We'll look at that real quick here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail your.
No, it's okay. Let me go over here and just edit the course. So this goes to the, I'm just launching the course builder here. So this is the whole course laid out on one screen. We had an assignment right here. This assignment was a task list assignment. But let's say we were going to another lesson here and we wanted to create an upload assignment where they have to upload something that's going to get graded and it has to get at least 65%. And maybe it has to be like a video file or a certain type of file or PDF or something, or we can just let them upload whatever. That's an example of a upload type. But there's different types of assignments, and then in the quizzes as well. You can see here all the different question types you can do. You can have file upload here again, and long answer and stuff like that. So there's lots of ways to collect data from people that the instructor has to look at. And you can also do it where they have to upload it, but it doesn't necessarily get graded, but it does get kind of associated with their journey. Sometimes people collect survey data and things like that for that type of like an ungraded quiz, just to kind of see what the student's thinking and doing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let me get back out to the front end here. So I think we already fired this achievement badge.
Seeing that little implementation too, like how quick and easy that was to set that up for those different things.
I mean, once you learn how to drive this thing, it's gonna go fast for you. Your first course will take 10 times longer than your second course. So this is audio content. We have a lot of people doing like language learning type stuff.
Cool.
Basic text and images. You can put PDFs in there. You can do PowerPoint slideshows.
Challenge is that we posted yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, you can we did you can there's a challenge. You can use a course in interesting ways. It doesn't always have to be a course like I'm showing you. It could be a challenge, like a 5-day challenge or a 30-day challenge. It could be like a webinar vault library type thing. It could be each one of these lessons could contain like certain files or documents. So you can get creative with how you use the course structure. This is tabbed content. You know, if you're there's some podcast and table and some videos and some other content. Then there's
That's
even this
cool.
fancy interactive content that you can use. There's things online um, called H5P, which is sort of like the WordPress of interactive learning content that you can start creating all these little like learning aids, if you will, and put them on your site. So I hope
That's
that's
cool.
inspired you.
It is. Greg has a question about he got a little sneak peek of Goot, and he
Yeah,
says he's not a Gutenberg fan, from what I recall of Greg's comments on other shows. If you choose not to utilize Gutenberg, do the various modules come with the ability to insert via shortcodes?
we do. Yeah, if you just do a Google search for Lifter LMS shortcodes, you'll see the expansive list. But we have a lot of people who use various page builders, Divi, Elementor, Beaver Builder, that do a lot of stuff with shortcodes, and or they do a mix. So yeah, I would say the majority of our users are not fully doing the native WordPress Gutenberg thing. We build that way because we're a WordPress plugin, but the we've been in the industry for a long time with the various page builders and whatnot, and they're very popular. Just like Melissa Love's site, who we showed earlier, was a Divi site. Um, I just want to
He's
jump
so
over to
happy.
here. What's that?
Greg's
What is it?
happy.
Good,
We got a lot of exclamation points from that.
good. So a lot of these success stories, we'll put a link in the chat there, but
It's already in the chat for that one, yeah.
there's Melissa and KPC, who also has a beautiful
It's
Divi
awesome.
site powered by Lifter.
She's the
Yeah,
active campaign guru, right?
that is. Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. There's a little video tour of her site here, and yeah, so and a lot of these folks, probably the most of these folks on here use a page builder of some sorts. There's our friend David Blackman,
Mhm.
and
We know him. We learned
yeah,
about Angela and Ziv yesterday.
yeah, um, yeah. So there's Esther, who we're just talking
Mhm.
about with the military spouses. So, anyways, there's a lot that you can, a lot of different ways to use Lifter. Here's a form, um, where like, you know how I mentioned we have form integration, so you can require people to submit a form in
Yeah.
order to complete a
Mhm.
lesson. So this is one way to like kind of make it mandatory to get a testimonial or get feedback from one of your
Nice.
learners. So if they don't get the certificate unless they complete the form kind of thing, that's that's a little trick you could do. Um, and let's take another tour of a few things, and then we'll show you how easy it is to build the course. We kind of looked at the membership. You know, we could create a fancy membership sales page here, but just kind of showing you the pricing table concept here.
And then,
So
in the challenge, in your free 5-day challenge, there's a
yeah,
section on pricing as well, right? To help
a section
sort
of
out
what?
on pricing?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a in the challenge. We can link that up. It's lifterlikes.com/challenge. There's 3 bonuses in addition to coming up with your 6-figure course plan. You get a tutorial on how to launch a website just like this in under an hour. You get a training on how to price your course for optimal pricing so that people will buy it, and also you make the most amount of money possible. And then the third bonus has to do with getting traffic. So, you can do all this work, but then if you don't have a plan for traffic, so we show you what's working in terms of getting people coming to your course. this is just a quick look at some of the social learning aspects of Lifter. So if you want to do the social media, social group style thing on your website, we've got our own social learning add-on for that. We've got forum integrations if you want to have like a members only forum, or even each course has its own forum and stuff like that. You can get going with the whole forum concept connected to enrollment. We've got the groups I was talking to you about, selling forklift safety training into companies. So if you want to, if, for example, you had a real estate sales training course and you were selling it to multiple real estate offices, and the broker at each office wanted to invite in all their agents and view the reporting on just their learners, that's all possible with the Lifter LMS groups add-on. And here's the student dashboard. So each person has a unique experience of their achievements, their certificates that they may have earned, which can be printed to PDF and that sort of thing. And they can pick up where they left off on their courses. And I'm going to show you real quick how easy it is to actually build a course, and then we'll open it up for questions again. So we're looking at these courses here, and I'm just going to put a new one in from here, new course. And so if I just call it awesome course, and then I put my amazing offer, which we learned about, how to write correctly. And there's more we can do here. I'm not going to get super fancy with like the course categories and everything else. But essentially, we, create the post or the course. And then what we want to do is we want to launch the course builder, which is right here. And we start building it out. So what we talked about yesterday was using the rule of thirds.
Mm-hmm.
We have an introduction. So this is like a phase, or it could be which we call a section. And then there were 3 steps in that phase. And I'm not going to do this whole thing. I'm going to move really fast here just to make it interesting. But then we had another phase with 3 lessons, one more phase with 3 more lessons. So I think I got that right. Yep.
Greg didn't even make it through the whole webinar, and he already signed up.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you doing that. And then we were looking at, there's lots of different ways to do instructional design, but in the method that we taught yesterday, we talked about in each step creating 3 action items. So we're going to do that with a task list. So we were doing an example of like domain research, and obviously we want to put more information in here, and we can start like linking to things and stuff like that, like go buy your domain name here.
Cool.
And then buy domain, and then do your DNS. So this is just for those of you that weren't on the call yesterday, that we were just doing a hypothetical course about building a website, and we were on like step 1, which had to do with getting the domain name. So based on the training from yesterday, and then if you look over here, we can actually, if we've made all our video content, we can actually add it all from right here if you want. What most people do is they actually, go over to the WordPress editor, and then they start building out their course content. In here they can, stick in a video, and you can do this with page builders and stuff too. But that's literally all there is to it in terms of creating the course. We'll look at the container of it, and then we'll put a price on it. So this is our awesome course right here. You can see it's coming together. It's becoming a product. And if we're working that from our course outline, you can see how fast we can put this together. And then just to show you the money side, if we go in here and Um, we'll do a future start date, enable a course time period. So course start date, today it's November 1st. So let's say I'm actually gonna open the doors on the 15th, but people can buy it starting today. I gave it a November 15th start date with no end date. And then I'm gonna start adding an access plan, which is the way that people buy this. So we'll do a
Plan. I like
one-time payment
that's
of,
cool.
we'll just keep it too simple, $2,000 for
I like
lifetime access. You can get much more detailed with this stuff if you want. And then we'll stick a payment plan on here. So we're going to add a second access plan. So what we're doing is we're building our pricing table on the course, but also the access rules for it. So this one is going to be,
yeah, while you're doing that, is it a thing to just sell like a deposit for the course or something like that? Like if people are interested, like they can put $50 down or
yeah, I'm going to do exactly what you just said. So what we're
oh,
going to do is we're going to do uh, we're going to make it a trial offer of $50. And how long do you want the trial? For a week or a month or a day or what?
uh well, I'm thinking of it like as a pre-sale thing, but I guess if I'm going to pre-sell, I would just pre-sell the whole course, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could. This is like an example of you have their credit card. They paid $1. Well, let's do the dollar trial because it's kind of like the classic example.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
get it for $1 for 30
Or
days,
1 day, okay. Yeah, whatever.
and then after that, the course costs $100 every month. Oops, every month for 12 months. I'm just making it in alignment with what we did before, which was a one-time payment of $2,000. So let's look at what we just did there. And this is
Well,
what
it's
I'm
cheaper
saying is,
per month for
what's
sure.
that?
Cheaper to go month to month.
Sure. Yeah. Um, so you can see we got our course start date is here. Somebody can go ahead and buy it. Um, they could do the one-time payment of $2,000. Actually, I did my math wrong. This should be $200 every month to make it kind of in alignment with this price, but you get the idea. We have a $1 trial for 30 days and then $100 a month for 12 payments. You know, you can sell with Stripe or credit card or PayPal, credit card via Stripe or PayPal. We've also got authorized.net and stuff too. But that's how easy it is to, you know, create a course, get it up for sale, and essentially pre-sell it. You can, of course, take 2 weeks or a month or whatever to create your amazing course before the world knows about it. But what we found is that when people kind of get into this pre-selling mode and they have live contact with their target market, they get a lot of good feedback. You know, some people call it a beta launch where they'll open up the course for just 5 people to start. They'll do a round and then they'll improve it and then they'll do it again. One of my favorite methods is called the Skittle method, which is actually what I did with the 5-day challenge, which stands for screw it, do it live. So the
Uh-huh.
first time I did the 5-day challenge, it was just a live presentation that I did. I had my outline. I knew what I was going to teach, but the first version of me making the lesson videos was me delivering it to a live audience. And what that does is you get a lot of good feedback from people. You find the holes in your instructional design that you can then fill in and make better.
That's awesome. So Greg Greg says, "Oh, I need to hear that again." You can rewind it, but I'm gonna re-say it for you a little bit because my pal Tim Streifler, who's on Divi Chat with me, which is gonna be in about an hour if anybody's interested in popping over there. He has done lots of courses. He's very good at it. Him and David Blackman and some others. But he was just saying his latest course, he's doing that method basically, where he's doing it live, like teaching people live and then that just gets recorded and that becomes the course that people sign up for, which is such a cool method, I think. And that's like for me because I'm I'm so comfortable live and doing things like this with like it's easier for me than to feel like I have to have like everything pre-written and prepared and all of that. That's harder for me. So I think that's like refreshing to know that that's kind of an option.
Yeah, and it makes it in many ways it puts the pressure on you because you got to show up and you got to do it live. But that whole thing of making time to get it done, it's like a forcing function to get it done. And what we find too is that some of the best courses out there have been redone. Like so, like the course creator makes it the first time, they learn a bunch, then they launch it again, and then they learn a bunch. And I know people that have been doing the same course every year for the past 15 years, and it just gets better and better every year. They're just constantly improving it.
Yeah.
There's a couple
That's
different course personality types. Some of them course creator personality types. Some people like have that one course and it's just their masterpiece and they just focus on that, like to excluding all else. Other people are more like serial course creators. They tend to do like the membership site. I'm going to make a course about this and one about that and so on. So there's no right way to do it. It's just whatever makes sense for you.
What about if I wanted to create I'm just spitballing now, but I know we're almost up with our time, but if I wanted to do like a mini course that I was going to have people sign up for free as a lead gen thing, like a free little mini course and drip it out over emails. That's not like what we're talking about with the demo you just did is something that I think a lot of us think about as well as like a product, right? Like where this
Yeah.
is a big course and we're going to sell it to a lot of people and make some good recurring revenue. But there is a big use case for lead gen too, right?
Yeah. And this is one of the cool things about Lifter too, is it actually has email functionality built in. So you can, if you want to drip out messages like 1 day after enrollment, 2 day after enrollment, 3 day after enrollment, you can do that. And if you just want to keep it as an email only course, you can. But you can also have that course like as whatever contents in the email is also on your site. Um, Natalie Lucier from our industry calls it the login opt-in strategy. So if you just kind of think about an opt-in and a login enrollment as the same thing, I call it a free course lead magnet. There's different ways to think about it, but just keep in mind for lead gen, you can take the same content. It can go out through email. It can be a course on your site. It can be a playlist on YouTube. It can be a podcast series, and you can just get this flywheel of content just coming back to your main deal. But you want to get the login or the opt-in. That's why
Right.
it's important to, if you can get them to enroll on your site, do that. You can get some bonuses, give them some bonuses or other reasons to come back to your site from these other channels.
Chris, I feel right now the way I think sometimes I make people feel like when I'm talking to my clients and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you could just do this or this or this, or you could go da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they walk away and they're like, I need a drink because it's overwhelming. Like I feel so excited and a little bit overwhelmed, but it really is easy to do. And you guys, this is almost entirely selfishly motivated because I do want to start a course. And so what's the
Well, once I
best?
find out, somebody wants to make a course and they need support, I'm gonna keep bugging you about it, Stephanie. So I'll be checking in with you.
I know, I'm gonna do it. Well, it's gonna have to I told you, I'm speaking at, the conference in 2 weeks, a recurring revenue retreat, and I'm gonna have pre-sale up. So,
Do it.
I got a deadline, which I need to have deadlines to get stuff done, so it's gonna happen. So, thank you for this, Chris. Before we shut her down, though, let's put up your offer. I
Oh,
saw it on your screen for a second there. Let's put it back up if you have it.
yeah.
Uh
Let me get it going
And
there.
then also, we've got a little focus offer as well. If you go to focuswp.co, I know it's super easy to build this, but if you do want to have some tech help, some design help, a little bit of copywriting, a VA, any of that stuff, if you want to have some help from your focus team, use code LifterLMS and get a little discount off of your hours. And then here is Chris's option, save 30%. Let me get mine out of the way. It's pretty easy to remember our coupon code. Membership 30 for Chris at lifterlms.com. Save 30%. And because it's Black Friday, You were
You
getting
get a bunch
some.
of bonuses as well. And those,
So
you'll see those in the email right after you sign up.
awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, Chris. Not only was it educational, but it really has gotten me fired up to go get my course done and see what I can make. I got to go figure out my icky guy now.
Hey, that's the key. That's the key. Thanks,
All
Stephanie. I
right.
appreciate you having me.
Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.